the COVID virus destroyed the black middle class. Yes. Talk about that.
The COVID pandemic, scandemic was intentionally released when it was to meet certain global agendas. Number one, they wanted to get rid of as many elders as possible. Right now, the planet is more populated with the elderly than it is with the youth in many places. Believe it or not, the continent of Africa has the oldest living people. And the United Nations predicted that by 2050, the elders in Africa may outnumber the youth. So the problem with old people is what? We don't have a problem with them, but from a white, racist, selfish, capitalist standpoint, elders pose a problem. Because under capitalism, you're only useful if you can do two things: work or buy. You have to produce the goods or you got to consume the goods. If you ain't producing the goods or consuming the goods, you're useless. That's the problem with elders. Elders can't work, and elders don't consume much. So from a capitalist perspective, they're viewed as a liability. If you want to know why Italy got hit so hard with the COVID, is because Italy has the oldest population of white folks in Europe. So they deliberately released the COVID there in the early stages to see how it would affect the elderly. And as you could see, it had disastrous consequences for them. Thankfully, many of the African heads of state refused the COVID vaccinations early on, and we thank them. Many of them are still standing strong right now, which is why our elders in Africa didn't get hit, because they did not accept the testing or the vaccinations. They had infected both the tests and the vaccinations with the COVID virus. And as far as America goes, the COVID virus has definitely impacted the black middle class because it has wiped it out. Many of the black people we know who had their own businesses, their own corporations, many of them now are unemployed. They are struggling. So many of the black middle class businesses are being shut down as a result of the economic downfall that COVID has created. And I believe that was deliberate. What better way to reinforce poverty in black America than to destroy the black middle class?
Dr. Umar, in light of you building the school, getting the donations slowly but surely, but it's coming. And I know you've talked about this a lot, but just for those of us who may have forgotten, why are you doing this? And talk about young black boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great question. I'm glad you asked the question, because people tend to forget what the purpose of all this is about. The reason why we're building the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG, International Leadership Academy for Pan-African Excellence, is because in the United States of America, only 1 out of every 4 black boys graduates from high school on time. In the United States of America, 2 out of every 4 black boys will be referred for special education at some point in their school career. In the United States of America, almost 3 out of every 4 black boys will be referred for an ADHD evaluation, conduct disorder evaluation, oppositional defiant disorder evaluation, and as a result of those white man-made disabilities, they will end up on some Ritalin, some Adderall, some Concerta, some Metadate, some Seroquel, some Cyclert, some Risperdal, some Prozac, some Depakote. So you have an entire generation of black boys who are being hooked on drugs by the school system. Let me say that again. You have an entire generation of black boys who are being hooked on crack, kitty crack, crack for kids, by the United States Department of Education. The purpose of the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy is to reverse that tide. The purpose of the F.D.M.G Academy is to eliminate special ed, eliminate ADHD, eliminate psychiatric medication, eliminate the black boy's emotional dependence on the white mother, his educational mommy, because we have to understand something. When the black child is being taught by the white woman, it automatically makes him sympathetic to the white woman's agenda. Even if she's racist, he will still be sympathetic to the white woman's agenda. From a military standpoint, the purpose of public education for the black boy is to have the white woman psychologically disarm the black male child. This is very important. You have to understand this. The white woman's job is to psychologically disarm the black male child. Make him drop his guard. See her as an ally as opposed to the enemy. This is why we have the snow bunny crisis in the black community of black boys all wanting to date white girls and marry white women, because we socialize black boys to fall in love with white women by putting them in front of white female teachers. If we want to build unapologetically African alpha males, we got to put them in front of unapologetically African alpha males. So we're trying to stop the school to prison pipeline. We're trying to stop the economic castration of the black male. We're trying to stop the snow bunny crisis. We're trying to stop the post-traumatic slavery disease and the intensification of the Willie Lynch syndrome. It all begins with education, because before we can have any other revolution in America, we must have a psychological revolution. If you don't change the way black people think, you will change nothing else about black people. So brothers and sisters out there, if you believe in what we're trying to do, if you believe in independent education, if you believe in unapologetically African alpha male education, please donate to the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. Get on your Cash app, $ F.D.M.G school. I said get on your Cash app, $ F.D.M.G school. Get on your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. I repeat, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. We need your support. Go to drumarjohnson.com and become a loyal donor to the FDMG Academy. $50 a month is the Bronze Club. $100 a month is the Silver Club. $250 a month is the Gold Club. $500 a month is the Platinum Club. And $1,000 a month, especially for our black business owners, is the Diamond Club. We need your help. We will not take money from the government. We will not take money from white folks. I will not open up a charter school. I'm a former charter school principal. I'm a former charter school vice principal. And the school that we bought in Wilmington, Delaware, that we now own, 2 schools, was once a black charter school. You know why they're no longer in operation? Because the charter school movement was never about black people using those federal dollars and state dollars to educate their own children. So when you are black and you open up a charter school, they systematically begin to formulate a case against you so they can shut you down. The charter school that we now own in Wilmington, Delaware, which was built by some very good black folks with integrity and commitment to black children. But you know what they did? They caught them up on some fraudulent, trumped-up charges. And what they do is they say that you're mismanaging money, so you got a multi-million-dollar budget, and because they can't find $5, now they're taking your charter from you. Or they say the test scores is too low. Of course the test score is going to be low if I just got the student. You got to give me time to work on them and improve their test scores. But they use financial mismanagement, low test scores, and not having enough trained, licensed, and certified teachers as the 3 leading reasons for why they shut down black charter schools all across the country. I live in the city of Philadelphia. Philadelphia has the #1 largest amount of charter schools in the country. There's no city in America with more charter schools than Philadelphia. And guess what? They've been shutting them down too. A lot of real good black charter schools have been shut down because they did not create the charter school system so black people could use it to benefit our children. Furthermore, they have the rainbow curriculum coming down the pike where they want us to teach our boys alternative lifestyles. I don't believe in that. I do not endorse that. I do not condone that. And nobody's going to come into my school and tell me I got to teach black boys that it's okay to date other black boys. I'm not going to do that. And unfortunately, a lot of our charter schools will have to do that, because if you're taking the public money, you're going to have to dance to the public tune. So brothers and sisters, the reason we're doing this the hard way is in the tradition of the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, the greatest black leader of the 20th century, and greatest black organizer in modern history. He told us that whatever black people must do must be done by black people. So we're not dependent on nobody else but ourselves. If it take us another 3 years to finish the school, so be it. If it take us 5 years to finish the school, so be it. If it take us 10 years to finish the school, so be it. I would rather have an independent school that took me 20 years than a charter school that took me 1 year that they can take from me whenever they feel like it. Black power.